Okay, so I'm just going to get right to the point because obviously my mind is done after working so much the last few days. But sitting out on my porch, enjoying the night evening and the breeze and the beautiful night and the sky. But my heart is just so full of a lot of things. And one thing in particular is love and also killing. Because I think that we kill people by the things that we say, by the way that we misrepresent objects of love. By that I mean God. In whatever form you believe God to be, that higher power, we tend to, as humans, as religious people, we tend to say that God does not like you or what you do. Um, I don't post a lot on my Facebook about political things or um, controversial religious things because I don't want to start a debate. I don't want people to say, oh my God, do you see what Anthony said? No, I don't want that. I want them to say he was honest, he was being himself, um, but not to start controversy. And it's just reading what some people have said recently, some past 1980s child stars who are now irrelevant in the way of acting and also in the way of their um, judgmental views. It makes me mad. I had a student this week come up to me and bare their heart to me. And they said, I can't be who I am in my own home. I don't, I just don't know what to do. I can't be me. And that hurt. And as we went on and started talking more, I said, well, do you believe in God? And he said, well, no. And I said, well, why? And his response was because God does not accept me. He doesn't accept me for who I am. And it just struck a nerve. And he said, I stopped going to church a long time ago because I felt uncomfortable with what they were saying. And I didn't feel like that was the kind of God that I wanted to be around, I wanted to be in relationship with. And I understood him. You know, we take a little bit of something and make it huge. We take what we personally believe and try to force it on somebody else. I'm not trying to force what I believe on you. I'm just trying to tell you that you need to love your neighbor. When you look at over almost 8,000 scriptures that pertain to human sexuality and homosexuality, less than 10 of them talk about homosexuality. And Jesus, who Christians, as myself, regard as being our father, our brother, the person that we model our life after, didn't talk about it. And you know what? He was different. And because he was different, he was looked down upon and ultimately was crucified, was killed. Let's not make it cute. He died on a cross, whatever. No, he was killed, nailed in his hands. Figuratively or literally, whether you believe that or not, it happened. And I think that we need to start worrying about the poor, like Jesus said. We need to start worrying about the real issues, like how are we going to get our country back to a good financial state? Not only that, how are we going to help our neighbor? How are we going to love unconditionally? That's what we need to worry about. Stop focusing on what is so out there and so minimal and start focusing on what's real, which is love. You know, I just think about my mother, who was a dark-skinned black woman in love with a mixed light-skinned man back in 1920s, dare I say 1930s, and didn't get to marry him until very late because he finally came clean with who he really was. You know, but society looked down upon them because they were an interracial couple, because they were different. She had to enter through the back door because she was different. I don't say to you, hey, your hair is brown. I love you and all, but you need to change it. And if you don't change it, you can't come to my house. You can't come around my kids. You can't uh, you can't sing in the choir. You can't work here. That's wrong. And if we believe that we are human people full of love and that we're the same as that person, just because their hair is brown does not make them not a human, does not make them full of what I have in me. There may be a slight difference, but we're the same. And when we realize that, we are all the same, we are, then we will realize what is really important, which is to love. So stop posting and stop killing, because that's what you're doing, whether it be their souls, their spirits. You wonder why people get out here and have depression, why people get out here and drive drunk sometimes. Not saying everybody is doing that because they're depressed, but why people get out here and just tear people down, don't care about anybody. It's because you are planting that seed of hatred. Hate is wrong in all forms, no matter what. And let me tell you something. If you think that I love you, you're such a good person, I just don't like that about you, and that's wrong, but I love you, there's some hate in there. There's something that you can't accept me as a human equal to you. Just as you can't accept that person who is sitting on the side of the road looking homeless, may not look homeless, but needs some money. No matter what they're using it for, love them. When it all boils down to it, we're all human. And it pisses me off that people use God, the supreme being, in a form of hate, in a form of, I need to change you, you need to change. Read your Bible and read what Jesus says, because the ultimate judge is God. So love me, love people as God said, and love your God. And then you will start to fully live. That's the straight and narrow of it, honey. And it's time for me to go to bed. Get it together.